Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of Cookiecast. Today on Cookiecast, it's our football podcast. You can't see the forest for the teas. This week we've got we're joined by a very special guest, Stuart Woodmansey, who came over to talk about the Hull game. And luckily for me and my what would you call it? Not enjoyment of writing. It was fortunate that Forest were playing Hull, so it was just two games to look at this week. There's a quiz that, let's see if it's close, shall we? We look at last week's games, this week's games, special guests and quizzes. What more could you want? So here we go. This is Cookiecast. You can't see the forest for the teas. Then let's get it on. Bang the gong. Yes, and that's right. One of those mine.
The one that's got writing on top of it, yeah. The non-branded coffee cup, of course.
The non-branded coffee.
Mm-hmm.
Just what I was
Our
say,
podcast sponsored by non-branded coffee.
How happy was I on Monday night?
Not as happy as this guy. So, carry on talking.
Did you gamble on 0-0?
No, but James sent me a message of a guy who did.
Wow. Mind you, it was 0-0 in the other result, wasn't it? In the other fixture.
All the decent advertised fixtures were 0-0 last
Yeah,
week.
it was ridiculous, wasn't it? So what was it?
Man United.
Man United Liverpool.
Man United Liverpool, the cup final.
Yeah. And then
No, that was 2 weeks ago now.
No, that was the same day as the cup final.
Alright, sorry, I'm thinking of... What was the game this week?
Maybe you're thinking the week before.
Yeah. No, what was the game? That was 0-0?
It was the Liverpool-Everton game.
Liverpool-Everton.
Ah,
that's it, yeah.
I didn't see that because I was at the cinema.
Well, you didn't miss anything.
Clearly.
Went to Kristen in the morning, disappeared upstairs after having food and drink to watch second half of Chelsea. No goals. Watched Liverpool-Everton. No goals. God, this is 2 weeks ago again.
So, some guy so it was obviously Sky Bet retweeted it. Some guy had a £5 free bet to put on. So put on for the Steel City derby, draw 0-0.
I don't think that was an outrageous.
No, because they were both playing quite well, and no booking points. That is a bold prediction in a derby.
Yeah.
And it was 300 to 1.
Jesus.
So got 1,500 quid off that.
Oh yeah. I can't
Off a free bet as well.
Cheers, James.
Isn't there something about
Maths for the insane.
Isn't there something about free bets though that you can only get them back in certain ways?
In bets.
Yeah.
Can you actually
It
cash
depends.
out on a
Not
free
with Sky
bet?
Bet.
No, so Sky Bet are a bit weird because sometimes they do free bet with winnings paid as free bets, or you just get sometimes get a standard.
I always thought free bets were just more bets.
Well,
No.
Because I've done one before where it's like you can put your £5 free bet on whatever, but you only get back so much.
I've had 2 off Sky Bet this season, and then I've had winnings, proper winnings from it. So obviously you get the winnings minus the free stake. But I think the first one I had was the first.
I think you'll let them have the 5, right?
I think the first one I had was the first week of the NFL season.
That was
the touchdown treble thing, wasn't it? And then I got
Gronk
the week after that.
I can't remember off the top of my head. I'm sure it was Gronk, Alvin Kamara, and
it was 15 minutes in, and it was all done and dusted.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. Because I said that I showed it to Steve, and it was probably should have had them on as first touchdown scorers, shouldn't you? And I was like, yeah, that'd have paid infinitely more than the £15 I've been paid back or something like that. So
it was 10 to 1, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was decent. I think I put a £5 on it. I think I got 50 off it, back off it.
Yeah, that's what I did. Thanks to your text.
Yeah, and then I don't think another one came in for the rest of the season.
Just proves you are a bad influence, doesn't it?
Cheers.
So back to real football.
Real football, shots fired.
Ooh, obviously you're still in that mode, but you're getting there, aren't you?
Well,
with the American stuff.
Did he tell you that I bought an old copy of Madden to try and help learn the rules?
Really? How old?
Madden 17.
So not that old, the one with Gronk on the front of it.
Good version.
I love his attention to detail and planning. Like, I'm going to get a copy to learn the rules.
That's the best way to do it.
But you can
100%.
I bought it when I went to Scotland, and there's that whole thing about you can take the man out of Yorkshire. It was £4. Win.
Fair enough.
Oh, incredible. So yeah, so welcome to the Phoenix Club. No. What is it? Episode 6, 7, 10?
I swear I saw him upload episode 9.
Oh God!
It's definitely more than 6 or 7.
Well, maybe it is.
I think it is 10.
Stu must have been on like 4.
Yeah, that's a good point,
I
actually.
think this might be my third.
Is
Actually.
it,
Did I see that you'd almost preempted this week, and you've already got your predictions in?
Yeah, because obviously I knew that we was going to be doing the other one after. Well, I didn't know it was going to be actually after. So I saw that there was a big fixture coming up this week.
Oh, we will get to
So
that.
I'll,
Andy's going to be loving it though, because it means he's got less stuff to write down.
That is true. That is very, very true. You won't have that much stuff to
Love
to
writing
memory.
stuff down.
You absolutely don't. Oh my God, what?
No, I don't. That's right.
I've just remembered.
Have you got a quid?
I have.
Have you got 2 quid?
No, I've got £1.95.
Why is that £2? Oh, he owes me you a... Oh, for
There's
God's
£1.95.
sake. Why are you giving me it all?
I don't know. Actually.
Oh, I don't believe it.
Oh, actually, I got 90 grand
You
in
just give me
notes.
£2.
No, there's only 1.5p, isn't there?
Well,
I've given you 2. Where's the 5 then?
Well, one of those 5p's is a 10p.
Right, okay, there you go.
About twice the size of a 5p.
When you've got the sort of money that
It's gone down
James,
the
when you've got the sort of money that James has got, those little ones, they all look the same.
Well, this doesn't look like a £50 note to me, you slag. By the way, that has gone fully through and is now on the floor. And because it's obviously one of those sofas that's not really got a middle, because it's a kicky out in one.
Oh well.
So,
Anyway, yeah.
welcome to Technical Description Cast.
Oh, cheers, Paul.
Oh, yeah, cheers.
Give me that. I'll pay myself in for this week.
Oh, yeah.
Chicken dinners all round.
What pound?
Oh, sorry, that's the pound that he owed me.
And then I've just
That
given
he owed
another
you.
pound.
That you owed
That
me.
you've now given back to
And I've
me.
given it to you to pay me in for this week. Everyone's square.
I think we have.
My
Paul
sofa
looks a
sofa
bit
got
confused.
I am very
Yeah.
confused. I'll put it there, just so we've got it there for later.
Sorry, take you out to win it.
Oh, yeah, well, there would have been some winnings the week before, wouldn't there? But some fucking shithouses couldn't concede a last-minute equaliser, could they? Knobheads. Can't believe that he'd rather his team win a game than we win some cash. What a slag. By the way, if Borough are like winning 2-0 and some of you put 2-1 against Brentford, I don't give a flying fuck if they get scored. It's not happening. Plus, you know, Tony Pulis.
Oh, that's
Why
wrong.
else
Don't worry, he'll
say
shit
that?
out his way to another clean sheet, so it's fine.
I feel like I'm sat. I had this whole issue like where people are on, and I was like, the way our living room set up is like long lots of sofas and lots of chairs one way, and then just one chair that faces like into the room, and where people are out for a movie. And it's the same group of people that they always come. Big shout out to Sky, Mike, and Harriet. And yeah, so I'm like, right, this is the time I'm going to turn that fucking chair on. So I turned it round, and it was chair, sofa. I was like, so now you can watch the TV, you just can't interact with anybody else. So I turned it back a little.
That's so weird, because obviously I've just listened to a previous podcast that was recorded in this very space, and you brought up something about a corner sofa.
Yep.
That's perfect for a nice little snooze.
Having a snooze, playing a Lego game, having a snooze.
Absolutely.
I was sat on a corner sofa playing Lego the other day. Didn't have a snooze.
Is this the thing? Like, I know this isn't football related, but is corner sofas like the go-to now?
Well,
Very much so.
if you've got a rectangular room, they tend to work pretty well.
What's the sofa situation like in your neck of the woods?
We've just got 2 double ones.
Same
I'm gonna have to start a new Tony Pulis count.
You absolutely are not.
Because you've run out of paper from the old one.
Yeah, but it's on the old. It's on the old.
It's steamy.
It's before we obviously came into the 21st century and moved off random paper to jotter pads.
We'll be
Oh
moving.
my
One,
God.
one day we'll get the
moving to
iPads.
OneNote.
I know,
Hey,
yeah.
just you wait until we get that TV kicked out with.
See the one, you missed the one.
No, I heard it.
Speaking of which, I meant to mention. I'll talk about it later.
Ah.
No, it's not football based, but I've had a thing come through about some money,
Really?
podcast based money.
Oh my word! Have we made dollar bills yet?
We haven't,
Oh,
but we could if we wanted to.
Really? Have we attracted a sponsor?
No,
Are we going to have ad breaks?
we'll talk about it. We'll talk about
God,
it
the
later.
podcast will be even.
Paul, if you have,
That will
if you
require
have ad breaks,
editing.
you can finally go for a piss.
Oh my God! Yes, it'll be amazing. Oh.
So the new Tony Pulis count has started.
Okay.
What
I put
happens?
myself down for 3.
What happens with this when it gets to the end? Does Paul is
We count it up, and Paul puts a pound in for every time he says.
He does
Tony
fucking
Pulis.
not.
And then we all go to the Bahamas for the week.
enough to buy himself a new tracksuit and cap?
Oh my God, that was part. Was that not part of like some sort of bet? Oh no, it was the podcast before the Borough Forest game in it. You've got to come in the cluffy green sweater,
And he's got
and
to
I've got to
rock
come.
up in
I've
the
got to
shell
rock
suit.
up in full shell suit and cap. Hey, I'll have to check the website actually because I think there's a sale on in the club shop, so I might be able to get it for a discounted price.
Well, no, normally for like this part of the season now, it's everything's going cheap because they know full well it's all going to get replaced at the end of the year.
Well, I don't know
This
because
is why I refuse.
we've signed into our Hummel deal for 4 or 5 seasons. So in theory, if they wanted to, they could just keep the training kit for next season. But we know they won't
Yeah, I
be
was gonna
doing
say,
that.
why would they do that?
What, miss out on a nice little money spinner.
How many readies are you going to get off the back of that?
So anyway, what's happening in football this week, Paul?
No, yeah, should we actually
Let's
cover
talk
some
some
football
football.
based stuff since it's 10 minutes into the podcast?
It is definitely 10 minutes in.
What's happening? in football?
Doing smatterings of
I mean,
football.
I suppose the big news is that Real Madrid have imploded.
Oh yeah, I saw that last night. Yeah.
Did anyone else see that?
No, I missed this.
So there were obviously knockout stages of the Champions League, and we're now getting into the second
Well,
leg.
to lead up to that,
you
it
mean about the
basically
result?
the
I
round
thought
16
something else
game.
had happened.
no.
there.
In the lead up to that, basically, they lost to Barcelona twice, which
Oh, yeah.
which has effectively knocked them out of the cup
League.
and league. So they were basically looking to
Yeah.
to get a Champions League to
So
save their season.
I don't know if they've changed the way that the La Liga's done, but you know every other league is done on goal difference separates the teams.
Yeah.
In La Liga, it's done on head-to-head record.
And then
Yeah.
12 points behind with 12 games to play.
Well, they said in the commentary last night that they're not even second; they're third in the league, and they're 6 points behind Atletico.
Yeah.
So the wheels well and truly have come off.
They got beat by Atletico in the derby, not in the other derby.
Did they not
The-
draw that?
I don't know. I think they lost.
I thought they drew
All right.
personally, but
I'm
you
sure
can't.
we can check. And
You
Paul will be
can't.
right.
You can't sit. Well, you can't watch any of the games though, unless you've got a particular subscription.
These are often the conversations where I feel like this is the beginning of basketball. You know, where they've got the American football player playing baseball and stuff like that. This feels like, because you start talking about, you know,
Into
the other
sports
derby,
play.
and it's like, which derby are we?
See, I've never understood that about the Spanish football because obviously El Clasico is the one that everyone talks about, which is the Barcelona Real Madrid one. Like, what do they call the Madrid Atletico one? Is it just
The derby.
I don't know.
El Dabio?
Don't know. Someone's looking to.
Come on, Paul.
That's a good point actually. I don't know. I think it is just called the Madrid Derby, but it will have like just on a side note. It just comes to me. Atletico Madrid have got the best nickname in football. The Mattress Makers.
Why?
Because apparently
The fuck?
their shirts were made out of the material from an old mattress.
Ah.
So that's why they've got the red and white stripes.
What? Because famously all mattresses are red and
In
white.
in Spain, at the time, apparently they were. I mean, if that turns out to be wrong and total bullshit, please correct me. Tweet, comment,
You'll be right.
share, subscribe,
When are you ever wrong?
all that
That's a
nonsense.
very good question, James.
They've
last night.
they're obviously like second legs of the knockout games in the Champions League.
And they were 2-1 up.
They were
2-1 up.
no, they were 2-1 down, 2-1 up.
Yeah, because they lost 3-1 last night. wasn't
Yeah,
it? And
so
it
there
was
must have been 2-1 up because
4-1 last night.
obviously Ajax needed to win 2-1 to take it to I was going to say overtime then. I was like, oh god. the Americanisms have started in my brain. So if Ajax had won 2-1 and had taken the game to extra time, I turned it on and I think it was 2-0 to Ajax.
Yeah.
And they then went on and scored a third.
It was 2-0 at half time, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so. And then the oh, for God's sake, I'm having a nightmare.
Madrid.
Ajax scored a third. Then there was then a 4-minute break whilst they checked the goal on VAR.
Oh, really? I didn't know.
Because they were checking to see if the ball had gone out near the halfway line. And all they kept doing was basically rocking and rolling this bit of footage where this guy takes it right near the touchline and basically kicks it back in. And there was no definitive footage to see whether it had gone over or stayed in. So he looked at it from one angle, it's definitely gone out that. He looked at it from the reverse angle, well, it looks like it's in by about 2 foot. So VAR, definitely not conclusive, needs work, but it's probably going to be better for football if it, gets used on a more regular basis.
If it stops that crappy interview that you get off every manager that feels like they've been
What, like Tony
wronged.
Pulis?
Just
give them out for free.
When they feel like they've been robbed
Championship.
and they're like giving it all that, but then when you know you've got a result and like Arsene Wenger's like didn't see it, I can't.
That's the thing,
I
isn't it?
didn't see it.
You very rarely see a manager go, we've probably been quite fortunate with that, or it's very very seldom you see them actually say stuff like that. Or we got lucky with that decision. Yeah, I think if it had gone against us, would have been quite annoyed. Really. Yeah, because unfortunately, Sean Dyche has been in there. Like, he sounded like he smoked 60. Oh no, sorry, that's just in at all times.
Is it going to be the reverse though as well, where you've got like Pochettino getting that 2-game ban after his
that
outburst?
came out today, didn't it?
But
Did you see that?
Is it going to be the
When he
reverse?
tried to chin Mike Dean.
Pochettino with that burst, isn't he like the coolest man in football?
Not in Burnley on a Saturday.
That's
night.
how much of a dick Mike Dean is. He managed to piss off Pochettino.
But yeah, like, are you going to get the reverse of that though, where if a decision is ironed out there and then, surely the managers are going to stay on the sidelines for the entire season. They can't really moan about anything then.
Very true.
So anyway, yeah, they got beat. They're out. Presumably,
They didn't just get beat; they got absolutely crushed. They got beat 4-1.
and Ajax is like one of those teams as well where it's not full of superstars. They've
No.
been basically beat by kids.
So they even brought this up. It was a case of when the draw came out. It was a case of you had maybe Ajax and I think they said Schalke were looked at as the sort of easy ties. The ones that you wanted to draw. So you had a nice easy passage into the quarterfinals. Oh my God, the funniest thing about it. So in the first leg, Sergio Ramos knew that one more booking would get him a suspension in the quarterfinals. So he specifically...
Don't tell me he got a booking so he missed that game.
He got himself booked in the first leg so that his suspension would be counted before the quarterfinals and his cards would then be wiped moving forward. So whoever looked back at the footage, give him a 2-game ban.
Brilliant.
So basically, because they've been knocked out now, I believe he has a 1-game ban to start next year's Champions League. Fuck you, Sergio. You dirty, dirty bastard.
Great defender though.
He is a great defender,
I
but
love Sergio
so I don't think I'm making this up. He's been sent off 30 times just in La Liga.
Jesus.
It's absolutely insane. But
Yeah.
But then again, like his goal scoring record in like major finals is outrageous.
We've been through his total goals
Didn't
scored.
he score in back-to-back Champions League finals or something ridiculous like
he's
that?
got close to. I think we worked out. He's got close to was it like 80 odd professional goals or something?
Yeah,
he's got a lot.
He's like John Terry.
As a
He's a
defender,
high scoring central defender.
Yeah.
Because he always goes up for headers at corners and stuff like that. So he's always in the mix.
He took pens for a while as well, didn't he?
Did he?
Yeah, I think he's.
I don't know. Was that before or after he skied that one in the semi-final that's still going?
The 80 included Spain goals as well. There was Spain. You can put it on that. There was Spain.
Still going.
Real Madrid. And where was it? Where was it before? Was he?
Sevilla. They got him from Sevilla.
So, yeah. So he scored goals wherever he's been.
I think he's always worn an Alice band as well. Stupid floppy head bastard.
Wow. Yeah. So I'm guessing that there's going to be like a massive turnover of players. And managers.
Yeah, I think they're just going to have to start again. It's almost like it was when it was the end of the Galactico sort of thing. It's almost got that sort of feeling to it where they're going to just not clean house, but they're going to get rid of the majority of the players. Bale's definitely done, I think, because they started booing him the other week, didn't they?
But
he refused to celebrate a goal, and it didn't go down very well, did it? He like shoot his like teammates away, like, I scored a goal, but I don't give a shit.
As with anything in football, the media have got a big hand in this.
Oh,
'Cause they've already been putting out like Photoshop pictures of Bale in like a United shirt, back in a Spurs shirt, and an Arsenal shirt. Even I think that was probably just to wind up the Spurs fans.
Yeah, more than likely.
But there'd also people seem to be like laying the groundwork for a possible Mourinho return after what's happened
I've
to
heard this
Madrid.
as well.
It wouldn't surprise me, because they'll just shit themselves and think, who's out there that's free?
It's just recycling names.
Chelsea.
They should know more than anybody. They'll get the 2 seasons out of him, and then it'll go back to exactly where they
Well,
are.
they might not even get 2 seasons out of him, because he's almost lost the plot, hasn't he?
Yes.
I honestly don't know what the hell
He's
he was
undone
thinking.
basically everything he did for the first like 10 years of management or whatever.
But it's just
he's
bizarre.
undone it, hasn't he?
It's almost like the Wenger thing, I think. It's like, obviously, he stayed at Arsenal way too long. Towards the end, there was like, it wasn't even like 50-50. I think it was like 60-40, 70-30 even that wanted him out.
I feel Wenger's a bit hard done to, really, because Mourinho's like, he's responsible for his own downfall. I think Wenger's basically just towed the line.
Wenger was Wenger was definitely responsible for his own downfall.
I don't know,
because he refused to change from I'm going to trust the kids. The kids can get it done. You know, they'll have enough about them to bring. Like, if we can bring them through,
apart from
we don't need to
very
be spending
end,
loads of money on players. Until the last 2 seasons, he
panicked by the lot towards the end. But so I'll give you that. But I think the directive he's got is you just keep churning out, getting that Champions League qualification, getting that money coming in. We've got to pay for this stadium.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Right, and I think that's the club. And he's just towed that club line.
I think the problem was that for the last before the last couple of years where he was actually actively spending the money, he kept shooting himself in the foot by saying, "We've got money to spend.
But
we have got money to spend. We just don't think there's value for money out there."
Apparently he had first look at Kante, didn't he? And said,
"There's always stories like that.
Not bothered about him, or he just needs a bit longer." And
yeah, but
chance.
I mean, there was the story back in the day, wasn't there, that they had the chance to sign Yaya Toure and turn that down.
Really?
They had a chance to sign Zlatan, turn that down. There's always.
I'm not sure. I've never heard of Zlatan.
Have you not seen the picture of him in an Arsenal shirt?
No, is this the same Photoshop I've got Bale?
No, there is a picture. It's like when they were still at Highbury. I think it was still when Wright was playing for them. There's a picture of Zlatan in an Arsenal shirt.
Jesus Christ, he must have been young. I know that.
I was only 17, 18, but they had the chance to sign him then, and I think they turned it down.
Just a bit shorter.
Wow. So yeah, anyway, I think Madrid are having wholesale.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a bit of a. I'll be amazed if the manager finishes the season. To be honest with you. Because you can't really lose twice to Barcelona in a row and go out of the Champions League and still keep your job.
Well, the Champions League's been keeping them going for a while, hasn't it?
Yeah. Well, didn't Zidane leave for that reason? He was like, I've taken the club as far as I can domestically, so there needs to be changes made.
Well, was it Zidane had 3 years on 3 Champions Leagues?
Yeah.
And obviously, and then you've got Tim at work going, Zidane's definitely going to come and be a Man United manager. I was like, what does Zidane get out of this? I was like, exactly. He can just literally just like go away into the sunset now, like 100% Champions League record. What does it need to do? Definitely not manage United.
Oh God, amazing.
What else? Ranieri.
Yeah, Fulham.
Shame.
Again, you'll know this, but and you, because they were both in the same division last season. But the Fulham from last season compared to the Fulham from this season, they're a totally different animal.
What gets me is you've absolutely played amazing football. You've done really well. You've then gone, tell you what, I'll spend 100 million, and then somehow you're awful.
Yeah.
Because they've fallen in the trap that a lot of teams who get promoted. Borough did exactly the same thing. Hull not so much, because obviously Elam was just like, you don't need to spend any money, do you?
No, I'll just put that one in my pocket.
Cha-ching! But they've fallen into the trap that so many teams who get promoted to the Premier League do. They get promoted, they get given all this cash, and then they think, right, let's totally overhaul the team. Let's get completely new players, and we'll have the same camaraderie, I think. Yeah, off you go. And then they wonder why they're getting beat every week, because you've totally changed the team. You need to. You can't do it. As much as I despise Bournemouth as a club, you have to do it the way they've done it. You have to sort of build from within.
Oh, I got into a massive argument with the christening over Bournemouth.
The
Of all the things you could get into an argument about.
This girl is a friend. This girl.
I don't give a shit about your baby. Let's talk
Oh,
Bournemouth right now. Come on.
At the party
That's
afterwards,
amazing.
the godmother, my sister's friend, had rocked up with her new boyfriend. Thought it looked a bit weird.
For
Oh,
God's
here we
Right?
sake,
And
what
then
is
he
going on
started
with
giving
this?
it all this like I know about football, and I was like, what?
Did
are
he
you talking
know
about?
that his team has the smallest capacity?
No, he wasn't a Bournemouth fan.
Oh
He
dear
was a
God!
Tottenham fan.
Of course he was.
I know. So then I was like saying about how I'm not very happy with like a lot of the teams that are in the Premier League. They're going nowhere. They're just there just hang around without any kind of like ambition or anything like that. And he's like, "What do you mean?" I was like, "You look at your Huddersfields and your Brightons and your Bournemouths. Like, what are they doing?" And he's like, "Whoa." He's like, "So are Chelsea allowed to be in the Premier League?" I'm like, "Well, of course they're allowed to be in the Premier League. They're an established club." He's like, "Yeah, but Bournemouth beat Chelsea 4-0 this year, And I was like, "Yeah, I do know." And he was like, "So Bournemouth are better than Chelsea, but you say they're not allowed to be in there." I was like, "Sorry, how are Bournemouth better than Chelsea on one result?" At this point, I had a few beers. I had to leave the room. He was winding me right up.
It's the principle
Did you
of...
get yourself a little Sam skin on? Because it's now.
A Sam skin.
Sam skin.
Oh God, because you had a few
A
beers.
few beers and he loves to just tear the shit out of anybody.
Oh God.
So anyway,
Not
yeah,
nailed
it's just
down.
like Bournemouth are causing an argument there.
Isn't it the guy who owns Fulham, isn't he? The Jags guy as well?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shahid... Is it Shahid Khan?
Khan, yeah.
Mm.
So, yeah,
Sadiq Khan? No, Sadiq Khan's the mayor of London.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's
definitely not him.
Shahid Khan.
But yeah, they must have just money to burn because they've got like 2 sports clubs. They've got the wrestling thing.
Yeah. So his son's...
I know that this is but I can actually weigh in on this. Nick Foles?
Going to the Jaguars.
Going to the Jags.
Apparently, it's not confirmed.
Not
yet,
confirmed, but they've again. I've seen pictures of him, Photoshop pictures of him in a Jag uniform.
Yeah. Oh my God, he plays as number 5, doesn't he?
Hmm.
Oh, Paul's is not going to be happy about that. Sorry, Blake.
Well, maybe he should play better.
Be a better
Be a
quarterback.
better quarterback.
Yeah, pretty much.
I'm just waiting for James to go, right, real football.
I just want
Just take that football, just squash it a bit so it goes a bit more round,
Yeah.
and then we'll start again.
And continue.
Anything else?
I think that's pretty much it. Like in the week,
There was, and I know it was kind of news from weeks before, but there was you see Gordon Banks' funeral thing this week that was on. I thought there were some real nice touches in there because obviously the football community sort of came together, but like particularly the goalkeepers union because they had a representative from the clubs he's played at,
Oh right, okay.
and then Joe Hart as the England representative. But they were the pallbearers for his.
I did not know
really?
that. That is a very nice touch.
Yeah,
I saw that. I saw that for Stokes. Obviously, this wasn't the game against Forest at the weekend, which we'll come to in a moment. But I think it was the week before. I can't remember who they played.
You're talking about
But
Jack
Butland had
kit.
a kit that was completely blank. It didn't have any sponsorship or anything on it because it was just basically supposed to be a replica of one that Banks would have played in, and he just played in that. And I thought that was a nice touch.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I thought it was classy. I thought it was done
'Cause-
nicely.
Was he born in Sheffield?
This is
because-
where Stato comes alive.
So it's just because I saw something on like Look North or whatever it was at the time. Might have been Calendar. Shout out to the 2 Yorkshire-based news programmes. But they'd said something about how it was his funeral and it was paying respects to Yorkshire's only World Cup winner because he was, I'm assuming, born in Yorkshire. But obviously, if he played for Stoke, I would have just assumed that he was born and raised in Stoke. But Shilton was born in Stoke, I think, wasn't
You're looking at me like I should know.
he? Shilton played for your team.
I know, but I don't know.
He's your boy.
I don't know where.
You love a bit of
they're all
Shilts.
born.
Peter Shilton is your goalkeeper.
That's the first thing released on the press bit, isn't it, as well? Oh, so signed for my team. Oh, it's alright. He was born in Grimsby. I remember that one.
Yeah, maybe.
Yes.
I'm sure you know you're right. But yeah, no, I can't think of anything else from this week.
I
Really.
thought I was drinking your coffee for a second.
No, mine's gone. Yeah, I think that's about it from just general football.
I mean, the chances are
Stuff.
probably missing huge news from the week or something like that, but I can't think of anything.
You boys start talking results and I'll check that we haven't.
Where did you say? Shilton.
Peter Shilton, I thought he was born in Stoke. Because he started his career at Stoke, I think.
Oh, so you don't even know where he's born? You're just going for first club.
I thought he
So
was
not
born in
only
Stoke. And
not only are you wrong twice.
So
Did
did
he
he
not
start
start
his
at
career at Leicester?
And
Born in Leicester.
there you go.
Ah. Maybe I'm thinking of Lineker, not you. You can see how we get the two of you mixed up. You know, you both got massive ears, apparently.
I don't know what he's even.
I have no idea. I've lost it. I think.
Oh,
Does he
that's
think
something
you're
else.
Peter
I
Shilton?
just
Has he
remembered
all
that
this
you said
time
that.
has he thought that you were Peter Shilton?
No, I think he thinks I'm Gary Lineker.
Did you see that I sent you this in the week? There was that discussion about
I've not seen it.
the football rules change and stuff, and there's a thing about the penalties that we've not. Have you seen this? So
Jesus Christ, how the hell have we not done that? There's been loads of rules that have been changed to start.
Which we covered,
next season.
on last week's podcast.
No, they were.
No,
they
these
were
are
Marco
complete.
Masters like.
These are ones that we would bring in. I think these are actual rule changes that are starting from either next season or the
Yes.
season after.
I think it's next season. There's a thing
Which
about
is?
the goalkeepers can have 1 foot on the line when they're first starting, isn't it?
Is that a penalty?
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah,
What,
not,
so
not
like-
just all game. Just hop along the line.
So like a giant goalkeeper can just take a big stride off the line.
Can you imagine that? Just like someone like Begovic, just like sort of like lunging forward. Hello. Just like right in the guy's face.
I thought you were going to do that right up to the camera.
That
Right,
would be
okay.
very good.
What else have we got?
There's, I think, isn't it? If the striker misses, like rebounds don't count on penalties. There's something about that. I'm sure.
Oh, so
What,
as
so they're
soon
going
as,
to treat it like a
so as soon
like
as
a
the keeper
shootout?
makes a save, it's like a dead ball.
I think so.
Right.
There was something about that.
I
Definitely.
kind of like that, if
But
I'm honest.
the offside rule was up for discussion again, as it always is, and somebody had said, and I think it was possibly Ian Wright actually on one of the debate shows, had said, "Oh, so you can score with your ear. So if your ear's offside, is that offside?" And Gary Lineker tweeted, "I'm really pleased that wasn't around when I was a player."
Did he say something? Oh, I would have been fucked.
Yeah, I was trying not to use the F-bomb.
No,
but,
he
you know.
did. He did.
Yeah, he did. He did.
Did he?
Another.
Stu plays this to his kids. He's like,
Not all the time.
I don't
Well,
want-
get your
I don't
editing
want-
skills out and get some bleeps going there.
Yeah, just wait for it to just go
DJ
beep.
DJ bleeps and his stupid fucking bleeps.
Another one that was brought up was that I might have got this one wrong, but if the ball strikes your hand in any form, you can't score from that.
Well, no, because it's not volleyball.
No, but they're going to treat it as if it touches the hand in any form, it's
Man,
not
that's so
a goal.
bad.
What, to get rid of like the hand to ball, ball to hand debate?
I think so, but I don't know. Again, I might have got that. I might have
Why
missed.
don't they just put, like, instead of having a football shirt, they'll just put a straight jacket on them instead?
They should do that.
That's, to me, I think that's
But wouldn't the most sensible
You've lost the way to speak.
I know, yeah. Wouldn't the best way to be doing it is just let the play continue and then use the VAR to decide whether it was an intentional handball?
I don't know why I found that so funny, but it was just
Do you know what I mean?
you losing the ability of speech. It was just fantastic. Oh,
Must be over here.
sorry. Oh God, that was. Oh man.
Yeah, so anyway, I think that one can be just covered off by the VAR.
Are they definitely bringing that in then, Premier League?
I think they said starting from next season, it's going to be used in all games.
I think the one thing that it has shown, whilst it's, as we've mentioned earlier, it's not conclusive,
No.
it does help. I think it helps a lot. And
How can it not?
the argument was always like, oh, it'll slow everything down, it'll be too like American sports. Well, I don't think it's that, apart from your 4 minutes maybe last night.
Yeah, that
But I
one was.
think it's-
That
I think
one
it's too
was
bad.
ridiculous, but it was because they had to. I mean, to be fair, it was good in the fact that it showed that it is being used, and it showed the flaws that it has in the system within that 4 minutes.
Mhm.
It should have been a case of, right, we haven't got a conclusive angle. We've looked at it 2 or 3 times. We can't make a decision. The goal stands. There's not enough evidence there. It's in the same way that they do for the touchdowns. In the case of, there's got to be clear and conclusive
Well,
evidence to overturn it.
I was going to say,
Otherwise, you go with the original decision.
go back 3, 5 years, go back to the technology that they had like 5 years ago in the NFL. It's like, is it a touchdown? Pfft, who fucking knows? Now it's like you will know if it's a touchdown or not because they will cover it from absolutely every angle and they'll be able to rewind it and spin it and literally by the time they go, the decision is this. There's no argument because you know that decision.
Yeah. See, they're bringing it in with the bigger because the stadium's got to be able to kind of like cope with it, hasn't it? With that amount of cameras. I mean, you look at the Vitality. You're going to have more body cameras than there are people in the stadium.
Oh, it's so true. Fuck Bond. We don't get many listeners down in Dorset, do we?
Changing it. # too big for Bournemouth.
Too big for Bournemouth.
Well, speaking of which, you were Borough playing this weekend.
I mentioned to Paul earlier today that a new country has added themselves to the listening.
Is it Cambodia?
No,
I guessed at Guatemala.
Okay, I'll give you the same clue as I gave Paul. It starts with new.
Zealand
Is the correct answer.
Yeah, you went there. I went for Newfoundland, which is a.
And then he had
seven.
Then he had 7 other guesses.
I did say Papua New Guinea
Yeah.
actually, and he was like,
And I'm like,
start
what are
with
you
you,
fucking
does it?
doing? But yeah, big shout out to the New Zealand listeners from Christchurch.
Big Borough fans are here.
I hear it was your Forest boys.
I don't think it fucking was. So, I think that's pretty much in the news covered.
In the news,
Name the section.
definitely needs
In
a
the
jingle.
news.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone says in the news. Like,
Can we get Chev to record us a jingle?
Oh my god! Dunno.
Maybe.
If we bribe him with any food, I'm sure he'll do anything.
Drink.
Any food, drink, illicit drugs, legal drugs.
Legal
to be fair.
drugs. Undecided drugs.
He's a very strange man, but we love him all the same. We absolutely do.
Love that.
I
shit.
honestly thought that was just going to be an
We
opportunity
like
for Andy
him.
to take the piss out
We
of my
like
car
him
again.
in a platonic way.
Don't know what you're talking about, Jez. Did you get me that Charlie there?
When I put that response in the podcast group, like, do you want maize-based stacks, nuts or sweets? 100% thought Andy was
Can I
going
have some Charlie?
spice.
Spice. Don't get that one.
Got any blow? Got any
Okay.
blow? Right then. Which is first? Because apparently we had to do it alphabetically last
Same.
week.
No. Well, it didn't really matter.
Doesn't
They were
matter.
both on at 3 o'clock. So you
And
can
no
do-
one cares.
Can you tell me how much of the £509 winning I get? So I've got producer adverts.
This is awkward.
We shit out.
We absolutely did not win anything. And
Started my work week with, so what we're spending the winnings on? I was like, did we win? He's like, fuck off.
I was like, I could not be
Couldn't be
further
further
from
from
the
the
truth.
truth. Right,
I tell
Middlesbrough
you what,
versus...
there was a reason why those odds were 500 to 1. Because they knew, everyone else in the world knew
So-
it was not going to happen.
There was a thing, and this is something I was going to bring up about the odds. There was a thing that we used to do way back in the day, which was to try and get the lowest odds, which meant that you were nailed on.
I can tell you that doesn't work, but
It does not work.
We'll get to it in a minute.
I can also tell you it doesn't work. So, Middlesbrough versus Wigan Athletic.
I'm going to make this very quick. No one's got any points on this.
That's good because I've not got a lot of space, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
Because the game finished 0-0.
So no scoring.
So no
points.
goal scorers. So no points for
No
that.
points for goal scorers
I'm
and
pretty
no
sure
points
no
for
one
scorers.
could-
Correct.
Yeah.
So let's move on to the Forest game, shall we?
Right,
the less
Forest.
the less said about the Borough Wigan game, the better. let's be
Forest
honest.
versus Stoke.
Stoke.
I wonder whether you might have a Stoke scorer.
I don't think I do because I think I went for Sam Vokes.
I didn't know if you'd gone for. Is it a Phobie?
Bennick.
Yeah.
So
It was 0 to Forest and 2 to Stoke.
boo.
Yeah.
Wow.
No points across the board.
So no score points and
And the scorers were Phobie. I don't know what the other one is.
Talk checking now.
Yeah.
Who? Peter Etibo.
both.
Local boy, obviously.
No. No one got anything. Because I'm pretty sure we were winning 3.
What's going on here?
Uh-oh.
This is for something else.
Oh,
Betting
no.
slips out.
I brought this for Paul,
Oh, for God's sake.
and as well, seeing as the
But it was mentioned on the podcast. Bring your betting slips and send us a picture.
So I was in town on Saturday. I had a couple of pound coins in my pocket, and I thought, do you know what? Why not? So
Did you follow our betting advice?
I did listen to it. It definitely didn't follow your advice. However, my general rule with accumulators is that I'll never pick more than 4 or 5 teams, because I think if you're doing any more than that and you win, you bloody deserve it, because it's just not happening. So I picked 4 teams, thinking go with the lower odds, guaranteed return. £2 on. So I had Man City to win, Man United to win.
You're going Liverpool now.
This might be the less popular choice. Stoke to win. And I thought, you know what, we're gonna absolute terrible. So yeah, I'll go with Paul's team.
Oh no!
So the only team that let me down for an absolute world breaking £15 and 15 pence was the shithouses that are Middlesbrough.
Oh,
thank you, Tony.
So, yeah, there it is.
My brother-in-law had it on. It was a triple. It was Norwich, obviously sports Norwich. So, and then he had some random like back end of La Liga.
What, like Leganes or
something like that, right? And that one came in.
Of course it fucking did.
And the one to get it was Liverpool to beat Everton. He was like, absolutely.
Right.
And as we were sat at the start of the game, he was like, it's going to be 33 quid. Because he only put like a little bit.
So,
he's like 33 quid if it wins, but they're offering me like 19 before the kick off of the game. I was like, nah, Liverpool have got this.
So, for
and as he goes through the game, it was like less and less. Nah, hold on, you're alright here.
More terrible betting advice, isn't it?
For starters, he's broken the cardinal sin of football betting.
Betting on your own team.
Well, that's the first one. The second one is never split your bets across different days.
I would do it across different kick-off times.
No, I don't like that.
3 o'clock on a Saturday.
Yeah, so basically stick to the one kick-off time, then you can basically keep abreast of all the scores in that bet at once. I don't like splitting.
Maybe he's wanting a bit more value for his money. He's getting a few more hours, isn't he?
Yeah, but whenever I do that, it always shits out on the first game, and then you're knackered for the rest of the weekend.
And then all the rest come in.
Annoying. Because the most annoying one when you do that is when you put the early game. I suppose that's going to balls
up your cash outs and stuff, innit?
But it's annoying when if you do that and you put the early game in and the early game goes down, then you've got to scramble around to get the accumulator back on, because you know it's sod law that if you don't, all of the games will come in.
That makes you sound like you're really desperate to stick a bet on Paul more than anything, I think.
I don't know what you're talking about.
If I
don't know what you're talking about, Mr. Person who I believe is working in Coral.
No.
Take my bet, please. Yes.
Did you not throw a statistic out last week?
I have no idea. More than likely.
That Middlesbrough haven't won, lost or drawn more than twice. And that's why we were all like, oh yeah, best have some 3-0 on this.
Yeah, Paul.
So, this week's games. And obviously we have to include the whole game.
Go first then, Paul.
Do we?
Well, we do, Andy. You missed this thing.
So why don't we leave that game till last, and we'll do the Borough game first. So Middlesbrough are at home to Brentford, otherwise known as the Bees, as we've covered in a number of episodes earlier in the podcasting season.
Not interested.
Shock. Go back to week 5 or something like that for the previous incarnation of James doesn't care about Brentford. I don't even know where Brentford are in the league these days.
Did Brentford win at the weekend? I know they've had a bit of a bad run recently, but I don't
Brentford
know if they were back
3,
to win it.
QPR 0.
Yeah.
It was QPR. I mean, who did they ever beat in the last 2 weeks?
Yeah! In fact, I believe it was last Tuesday that I was sat in that very chair as we watched QPR put Leeds to the sword. And I'm not going to lie, I went home.
Erect.
Had a little bit of a lot on. So we have Middlesbrough in 5th position, playing against Brentford in 15th position.
I mean, it's got a Middlesbrough win written all
Is it at the
over it,
Riverside?
hasn't
It is at the Riverdance.
Yeah. You've got to go for a goal win here, aren't we?
I would like to start off proceedings going against the grain. I know I normally stick to last because it's my team, but I will go with Middlesbrough 1, Brentford 0.
You still must go.
You always go 2-1, you shit house.
Not this week, I'm not. Fucking hell. Your scorer is...
He missed an open goal on Saturday.
Yeah, that was
Shit
awful.
house.
That really was bad. I saw the highlight. I say highlights, it was 0-0,
Oh
wasn't
my
it?
god. Seriously, it was quite funny because I was helping JK move on Saturday, so I had the radio in the car while he was sorting some bits and pieces out in the storage facility, blah blah blah. And they cut to the TalkSport coverage, or the person who was reporting on the game for TalkSport. It was like whatever his name is at the DW was watching Wigan versus Middlesbrough, and then it started when he was like, pretty poor game, to be honest with you.
Start with that. Back to the studio.
It was like, neither team really deserve to win it. But, you know, Middlesbrough had a chance in the first half where the ball came across to us on the longer, and it basically... I watched the highlights. It does somewhat hit him, but for £15 million, you'd hope that a guy could sort his feet out a bit quicker than he did. And then there's another one like later in the game where Ashley Fletcher takes it on the keeper and tries to put it in, but it's a side name. It was a keeper. There was a defender around.
You
on
had
the,
Fletcher for scoring, didn't you?
Because
as well?
fucking did.
Yeah. So all that said, are we going Brit?
Brit then, yeah.
Put me down for Mo Bezic.
Is his name...
Bezic.
B-E...
Or is it
S-
Bezic?
Besic.
Fancying a lot of goals from the
Basic.
field these days, aren't you?
Yeah. Maybe it's because of this guy scored once in the entire time he's played for us.
Of course he has, because you ended up getting his name on your shirt, so that was a guaranteed winner, wasn't it?
No, normally what happens is I get the name on the back of my shirt and he fucks off.
What? So rather than picking like your favourite player, you just think, who's never going to leave?
That's what I had to start doing. So basically, I was... How old would I have been? Ooh, so...
How many tops have you got with Lens better on?
I'd never get it.
Throwing that fishing rod right out there. That's like...
98, 98. So it must have been 1998, so I'd have been 12. And start of the season, queued up for ages to get the new shirts. Got the new Borough away shirt and thought, who's our best player? Definitely Paul Merson. The Magic Man. Merson 10 on the old back of the shirt. 6 weeks later, fucked off to Aston Villa.
Yeah.
Shirt for the season, ruined.
The bit I can't believe about that story is that he said he queued up for ages. There can't have been that many people there.
Hey, say back in the day, people used to actually go to the Riverside,
What?
even when it wasn't open, to buy shirts.
He must have had something else on, surely.
Nope. Queued outside with my mum, about 3 hours. Not even joking. Terrible.
I've been in the Middlesbrough shop on game day, you know, with all the tumbleweeds. I'll just go straight to the front of the... Oh, no.
Where they've spent all that money on fitting the express till. Oh, no, that's just a normal till. Yeah.
Shit house.
James Panas?
I'd have possibly gone 1-0, so I'll just go 2-0 just to be...
You do know you can actually go for the same score?
No, it's no fun, is it?
And your scorers?
Well, obviously he's going to be going for Rudiger instead, isn't he?
No, that stopped as soon as there was money going on these. Brit. And I'm going to go for one of Paul's previous ones. We'll go for Wing.
Yeah.
Lewis Wing.
Still.
Oh, no way!
I am going 1-0.
And you're going for Britta Sombolonga.
And I'm going for Fletcher.
Ooh!
He's been listening, hasn't he?
Stu.
Well, seeing as it's a game that we've said that Middlesbrough should win, I'm going to say 1-1.
Oh, no. Oh, God.
Unfortunately, now,
They've
you
just-
do have to name...
It's alright. I'm on it. I'm on it. I am going...
Aaron.
I know I'm going to go for a namesake of one of my friends. Shout out to Gaz. I'm going to go Watkins for Brentford.
Ollie Watkins, eh?
Sammy Watkins, yeah.
And
Cross sports play. Nice.
for Borough, I was going to say Wing, so I'll stick with that.
There we go. Let's talk Forest.
Oh, who are they playing this week, Stu?
Why are
They're
you
playing
asking-
Hull.
Why are you asking me?
They're playing Hull.
Well,
Yeah, at Forest.
As if by magic.
Isn't that nice?
So we don't even have. I've bunched all my.
I didn't even say at the
said you don't
start.
have as much to write
I was like,
down.
Andy's going to love it because he won't have to write down much.
Bunched it all. No.
I don't know if you listened
So
to
is it Forest versus Hull, or is it Hull versus Forest?
Forest versus
Hull.
Hull.
So did you listen?
Or
to
if you're in
last week's or
American
the last
sports, it
couple
would
of
be
weeks?
Hull at Forest, right? Isn't
I
that
listen
how they
every
do
week,
it in
Paul,
American?
'cause, you know.
Do you want to join in on the bet?
I can do, if you want me to.
That's fine.
I won't be in next week, so if you do win like loads of money, then remember.
Well,
what
I'm sure you'll be kept abreast of the situation.
I don't think, based on our previous efforts, it's really a concern.
Who knows?
Yeah, plus
You shut your whore mouth.
The thing is, though, it's getting to the stage where, in theory, all three of our teams can get in the playoffs.
Well, that's the interesting thing about the results last week, because I obviously, with a bet that I mentioned, didn't have the confidence to bet on my own team because I thought we would get dicked.
I
But
thought we'd get dicked.
but beating Birmingham 2-0 was a good result, which put us bang level with Forest on points, 50 points apiece.
I see that as after we beat Derby, I was like, yeah,
Put playoff
there's a
pushes
chance
back on
there
again.
because Derby had moved too far away, and then would have really kind of like it would have been between them and at the time Bristol City for the 6th place. Because I reckon your top 5 they're away now.
Pretty much locked in, aren't they?
Yeah. So I saw Derby as a way to keep it alive, and then we've kind of like blown that a bit now. But
I don't know. They got pumped at the weekend.
yeah, it was 1-0 at half time on it.
Bad.
But yeah, a lot of the results went our way this weekend.
Speaking,
They're the kind of weekends where
Apart from ours.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I mean, I'd rather you beat.
but in a way,
to
that
brings
kind
Birmingham-
of
it
helped
brings
because it
Birmingham
brought
back.
Birmingham back
Yeah.
in, didn't it?
So I'd always go for. I would have preferred that result. However, it's like all those results go away, and then we don't
Don't
capitalise.
capitalise, yeah.
So
Speaking of Derby, did you see the goal that Bennett scored from last night? Oh my God!
They
I'll
went
have to try and find
2-0,
it. They won
2-1.
2-1.
Yeah.
They were 1-0 down. And this kid, some guy crosses it in from the left, and he sort of does like a pirouette and basically just catches it with the outside of his boot, and it flicks in at the top corner. It's a hell of a finish.
was
If I could-
it better than that Grealish goal?
That was hell of a strike, but he's a twat. So
It was a good strike. It was well executed, but I've seen it before. This sounds quite
Skulls.
This sounds quite special.
I'll try and find it. So carry on with the
Right,
next
so
one,
we
I'll try and
need
find it.
and sticking with tradition, James should go last.
Well,
Paul,
technically,
Stu should
Stu
go
could
last.
go last.
And we can't have Paul going first because he's busy. So we're just gonna have to go
So it's
unless
me.
you want to go first.
Yeah, then is it?
Yeah. You weren't prepared for this, were you? I'll go in with mine. I don't mind. I'm going in with hopeful. So Stu's not gonna like. I'm gonna go 2-1 Forest.
2-1. And your score is that?
Well, for his lot, I suppose it's probably going to be Bowen, right? Is he not playing?
He will, but he scored both of our goals against Birmingham, so probability-wise,
I don't know, he's your only decent player, isn't he?
I believe there's a big fat fuck you on the end of that.
He's going to be going Campbell, is he not?
No, Campbell didn't play at the
Oh,
weekend.
right.
No,
so
I've
I
seen
think
who he's
injured.
going for with this pick.
Okay. No, I'll go Bowen for Hull. And it pains me to say it. Murphy.
You look really troubled by
I know,
that as well.
Alex Murphy and...
Lolly. He's the only one that ever looks like he's going to score, to be fair. What? I
Absolutely
didn't see the stat
outrageous.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, I know you'd explain it to
Fucking
me, but
outrageous.
when I first watched that, I was like, has he edited that?
You're gonna have to,
That is a hell of a finish.
you're gonna have to put the link out to this at the bottom of the.
Well, I'll just put it on there because it's public domain now because it's after the game, so the highlights have already been shown. So I'm not breaking any laws by putting it on. Oh, outrageous! Right, I'll wait till it starts again.
Bit of time in
The
there.
one who's bothered.
That's a big old hit and hope, but it bloody.
Oh,
worked,
massively
didn't it?
so.
Yeah.
So who's next then for the big game?
The big game.
The big game. Either
Banter.
Paul, me, or Stu.
Oh well, since there's 4 of us and I've already done mine, that was good. Go on then, Stu, if you've got yours written down.
Well,
or you've pre-thought about it.
My question to you would be: will Grabban play?
Well, I put him in to play. I thought he was back.
Put him in every single.
I put him in last week. He wasn't even in the squad, so that's why I'm just steering clear. I don't know.
Because my thing before, I'd say Paul had texted me, or I text Paul with it when I found out what the fixture was, that I was going to go 1-1, double G. So Grabban for you, and Grzycki for us.
Is that what you're going with?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, there's if I honestly thought Grabban was going to play, there's no way I'd be picking Murphy to score. But I don't know.
Well, Grabban for me is one of them players that somehow manages to find the net, when he hasn't for a while.
Yeah.
And he scammed one against us at our end when I went in November. So I don't know. I just think he will. Plus, for us, Steve McDonald's due a goal. So
Steve McDonald.
Seriously, if you've not seen Kamil Grzycki, look him up. Steve McDonald, professional footballer.
I think.
I've never put that together, but that is absolutely bang on.
If Grabban plays, Grabban's the one that's going to get the goal.
You'd imagine so. Well, I don't know.
He's just...
It's a toss up between him and Daryl Murphy, because he's a fucking goal machine. Oh no, wait,
I
he's
could have
fucking shit.
I could have gone out there and just hoped that Bonatini starts, but he won't.
I couldn't pick us to win because after getting absolutely smashed by Brentford away a couple of weeks ago, then I went to the Millwall game this time. A week yesterday, and I thought we need a result here because otherwise this could be 3-4 rather than looking like playoffs. They managed to get a 2-1 win, and then it was like you say, you're looking for that next result to turn your season. Birmingham comes around great, okay, 4 points away from the playoffs, same as you guys now, and then at some point it will all go horribly wrong because it always does. But I'm gonna be optimistic enough to say we'll get a point, just not all 3.
There's a lot of teams fighting for that spot, as I said.
That's the thing. It has almost got to the stage where even though there's still over 10 games to go, it does have the feeling that it's one place and about 7 teams going for
You'd have to have a massive.
We'd have to spectacularly fuck it up to not get in the playoffs now.
I think I was talking to some Sheffield United fans this weekend, obviously back at home, because I think they can't mathematically even drop to 7th anymore.
No, they definitely can.
I think the way it works is they can't.
What, because of the way the other teams are playing against each other?
Yeah.
I was speaking to a Leeds fan. I was speaking to a Leeds fan this week. When we were playing football, and he wasn't happy with this week's fixtures because he was like, "Have you seen the fixtures this week?" And I was like, "Well, I've seen that Borough playing Brentford, and after that, I couldn't give 2 flying fucks who anyone's playing, if I'm being honest." And he was like, "Oh, well, yeah. Anyway, so." Norwich.
At what point did he say lose?
He didn't actually.
Can we carry on?
So he didn't actually. Well, it was quite nice. So he was like, Norwich have got Swansea.
Yeah.
So that's it's not an easy game, but it's not exactly a tough game. Swansea are that's on Friday, and then the rest of the top 4 or whatever it is you want to class it as. I suppose it will be the top 4. So Sheffield United at home to Rotherham. Mm-hmm. So that's 3 points for Sheffield United.
I tell you what, the lot of them have been talking there. They're a bit worried about that game.
Sheffield United?
Yeah.
Because it's a local derby-ish. Yeah. West Brom at home to Ipswich. So get your money on about a 6-0 West Brom win, because Ipswich are shit. Borough against Brentford. Leeds away at Bristol City. And he's thinking, not liking that.
So this weekend we're Leeds fans.
No, this weekend I don't care. I don't care if it benefits your team in any way, shape, or form. You always pull for whoever's playing against Leeds.
Always.
Always.
No.
I'd agree with that.
No, exactly.
No, I'm gonna have to go for the.
All right, I'll let you have a draw. Is that all right? You can have a draw.
Oh, can I?
You can't have a Leeds win, but you can have a draw. And you can only have the draw if Leeds get 6th place sent off.
And also, I would rather...
You're obsessed.
I would rather Leeds get in the top 6.
Seriously, I'm telling you.
Sheffield United as well.
As discussed previously on the podcast, worst case scenario this season, Leeds win promotion to the Premier League and Liverpool win the Premier League.
That's the question. if one of those happens, which would you rather?
Oh my god, fucking nightmare. Can I not just cut off all my limbs instead?
I wouldn't mind both of those.
Including my own head.
Nah, I think I mentioned this last time.
You'd much rather Leeds, wouldn't you?
I would. It would be like rocking a hard place kind of thing.
But you'd take Leeds.
I'd take Leeds getting promoted because they'll then spend the season getting pissed on.
That is true.
Do you think?
Whereas you'd never hear the end of it for Liverpool win the If they win the Premiership,
No.
you will never hear the end of it.
Because when was the last time they won the league?
91.
Yeah, and when was the last time you heard about it? Probably today from someone.
Massive club. We're just such a massive club. It's not fair. It's not fair. We haven't won the top league in so many seasons. Unbelievable.
I actually heard it on Saturday night. I went to see big shout out to Bill Burr. Went to see Bill Burr live in Manchester. He had support. It was a Scouse comedian. First words out of his mouth.
What looks like Liverpool are going to win? Oh my god! You'll know this. You're not friends with Phil from the quiz on Facebook, are you?
No, because I don't have Facebook.
That's probably why. So I saw that he put.
Are you friends with him?
Is he now like coming out of his shell again? Now?
Well, it's not that.
He's been hiding away.
No,
recently,
it's not that. It's the fact that what he's put to one of his mates. So I'll have to find it. I need to do my prediction for this daughter. So it's at Forest. I'm going to go 2-2.
Desmond.
I fancy there to be goals.
I think we have a fairly decent home, defensive record. But
Can you name 4 scoring players?
yeah.
Yes, the two goals for Forest.
This is the artist Paul.
The 2 goals.
Artist formerly known as Paul.
Oh, I even called Ed an artist the other day.
Oh.
I'm supposed to ask you why your name is Rosie, is it? The brick? Rosen? The brick?
What?
Do you remember what I turned up with on Friday at the pub?
Oh yeah.
Basically, as I was walking into town to go meet him at Brew York, I had a bit of a sniffle, as always.
You.
So what can you do when you need a
So I
sniffle?
thought, well, I'll go get a pack of tissues. So at least I've got some tissues. I don't have to keep running back and forth to the toilet to get toilet paper or something like that. So I went into Marks and Spencer's, but they only had a pack of 6. So I had to buy 6 packs of tissues and turn up with this basically brick of packs of tissues and put it on the desk.
And they were heavily
Rose
censored.
scented tissues.
Right.
Delightful.
There we go. So,
Chev had one in his pocket pretty quick for some special time later on. I mean, he was suggesting even going at it in the queue waiting for beer, wasn't he, at one point?
how many
Little insight into the mind of Chev, everyone. There you go.
He's
Anyway.
a fucking boss. If I hadn't been driving on Saturday, I'd have taken a picture because the number plate on a Sky van in front of us, the last 3 was
CEV. Nice.
CEV. I was like, Rob, if I wasn't driving right now, I'd definitely take a picture of that and send it to Chev because it's fucking brilliant. So it was like following Chev into Manchester.
So the 2 Forest goals will be scored by Graban and I say this everywhere. Do you know what?
Are you going to go anywhere?
Benaluan. Good luck spelling
No,
that.
he's not going to score again.
Why not?
Because he's not.
Centre half. Header.
I love the
In
fact
fact,
that...
I'd like to extend mine. I think Forest will go 2-0 up. And Hull will come back for a heroic 2-2 draw.
I mean, we've thrown a lot of 2-0 leads this year. A lot.
You didn't throw one at the fucking Riverside, wankers.
That might be the battle of the teams then that bottle it essentially because when we get a lead, that also happens.
Oh god, well you did it against Rotherham, didn't you?
Yes.
The other week.
Well, the 5-1 against Brentford away, we were 1-0 up inside 5
Yeah,
minutes.
I'd forgotten about that.
And
Jesus.
then they just all went to the pub, I think.
Yeah.
Just like, meh.
And for all.
Is Dicko fit?
When I was there last week, he was a sub.
So he might be back. He
Yeah.
might be sort of easing his way back in.
I think, if I remember rightly, he got on for the last 5 minutes of the game. But
I'll
I don't know if
go-
he played against Birmingham.
I'll go Dicko.
That is his full name. He's not called Dixon, and Paul's just personal to him.
Matty Fryer's not still there.
Matty Fry. This is where you...
What about what's his face? Oh crap, I can't remember.
If
his
you're going
name.
to pull out some old school names, Paul, you should be going like Junior Lewis or...
what was his name? JJ
Kocher.
No.
We had him for a while.
Yeah,
Did you?
I didn't even remember that.
Yeah.
I just thought he was at
no,
Bolton forever.
Oh no, it was Jason Price. He used to
Oh,
call
yeah.
JJ Price or whatever it was.
Yeah.
You fucking hated him.
He still was Jason Price when yeah, but not for his football. Just
because he was a cocky
thought
bastard.
He was Billy Big Bollocks.
In that case, I'll go for John Parkin to roll back the years. You can't put that down because he don't play for him anymore.
Beast.
Aaron McLean was the other guy I was thinking of.
Yeah, we haven't got him anymore.
Jared Boyd. Nice and simple. So...
See, I know what's going to happen now. He's going to also pick Grabban. And now he's going to play and score the one time I don't pick him.
What's your problem? So, Phil's thing that he put on Facebook was so-and-so's, like, so obviously he tagged his friend in it and said, "You alright, mate? All over Christmas and January I couldn't get you off my newsfeed. Could probably say the same for this other guy, and a few others. Has something gone on that I've missed?" Question mark. So, he's just had a few people who've just come on it, just like, bore off, finger, stuff like that.
This could be better than the Stevie G slip though, because
They were so far ahead.
yeah, but ultimately they lost that title because of that one moment and one guy. Whereas if the whole team just fucks it up over a matter of weeks, that makes it even better.
I don't want them to. I know.
You really want them to win it, don't you?
I just don't like. I really don't like City.
I don't
or Chelsea.
get the I don't like City thing. I just don't get it.
I can understand it because
What's not to like? They've just spent loads of money that they've earned through hard work and sheer force
sponsorship.
Yeah. Oh,
What are you going for, Andrew?
I've gone with a 1-1. Cash. I knew you were going to say that.
Ooh, Cash has been AWOL for quite some time now.
I'm pretty sure that was the conversation we had last week when I went, "What's Cash doing these days?" And you went, "AWOL." I was like, "All right." But this week,
and he wasn't in the matchday squad. He's probably with Grabban doing something somewhere. I don't know.
but I can't name a whole player.
Jared Boyd.
I was like, I'll just put Bowen down. And
But I tell you what, I'll give you the team the last time they played.
What, the last time they played Forest or the last time they played?
Not the last time they played Forest. The last time they played on Saturday.
Here you go, I've got it.
Tell me the third name down on the list.
You don't want that because that'll probably be the left back.
Right. That's
Oh my god!
That's our team.
Who is it?
I've just noticed that their
Oh.
right back is Kane.
Oh,
You're going for Kane, aren't you?
Oh, he
No.
did score though, didn't he? A couple of weeks.
Todd
a
Kane. Is it Todd
name
Kane?
dear to my heart. I've gone with Mr. Pugh.
Scored a really good goal
Why is that a name to
against
you?
Millwall.
Seriously.
Wouldn't surprise.
Will not surprise me either.
Is this a regular customer?
This is a regular.
So,
person.
I've got 4 names written down. I've got 4 pound signs. Let's do this.
Oh yeah, fuck! I forgot about that. Right.
Whoa!
I bet.
Forget
Oh,
about
did
the main bit, the bit that pays for the
This
producer.
is definitely not the main bit, is it?
Of course it is.
This is absolutely the precursor to the main bit. The main bit that everyone comes in to see
Well,
is me smoke James in the quiz.
but we've got our...
Please finish that sentence.
Yeah, that's a different podcast on a different website. But
All right,
yeah,
well,
but
you might be
Stu's
right with
here
Cash.
this week.
I've just gone back and read a Cash thing, and it was like Matty Cash could return against Stoke.
I'm telling you.
He didn't.
Oh,
well, that probably
no.
means
I'm
that he
telling
will
you.
play.
He's going to return this week and score.
I read the second part of it.
So,
Grab a knot.
Still have concerns.
But this was
I
prior to the
feel,
Stoke game.
I feel this is tightening up the odds. Because these are more realistic scores than, the week we had. Oh, it's 6-0 and here's your 6 scorers.
Right. So,
Two draws might be pretty tasty then. I've got 2
Yeah,
draws.
a couple of draws.
well, we'll do Stu's first.
couple of draws.
There is your pound, Mr. Williams.
Are you wanting the draw? Oh, no, you actually want the actual scores, don't you?
Is it on there yet?
Yeah, just stick it down there. Nottingham Forest Hull. Right, so you wanted correct score 1-1.
Yep.
For both games.
Dick.
Double draw.
Yeah.
Double trouble.
Yeah, double draw.
The irony of the bet last week is if I had a Peterborough to draw, I'd have won, and the odds would have been better than 7.5 to 1.
So,
Oops.
Oopsie. Stu wants a pound on the draw 1-1 Forest Hull at 11-2. And the draw 1-1 Middlesbrough Brentford at 5-1. Giving a double of 38-1.
You see, that's realistic, isn't it?
That is realistic. Thank you, Andrew.
9.
James, we'll
And
do you next.
were they correct scores? Or
They were correct scores.
Okay.
Right, James's correct score for the Middlesbrough Brentford game was
2-0.
okay.
Mine's going to be. Mine are always outrageous, though.
I'm thinking 138.
It's got to be that big.
Was that the precedent that we set last time? And your Forest versus Hull?
2-1.
2 homes is going to be, could be less than 38. But then it's more goals, I guess.
I think the 2-0 is probably going to.
So he has got Middlesbrough 2-0 at 10-1. Nottingham Forest 2-1 at 8-1, giving James a return of 98-1.
Okay.
That's
Andrew?
still probably my lowest odds to date.
1-0.
No, give us your Forest Hull first.
1-all.
1-1, and then 1-0 Borough.
1-0.
His will be lower than yours then. His will be really low, actually, I'd have thought.
In the 20s, you
Middlesbrough,
reckon?
correct
Yeah.
score 1-0. So, Andrew, you have Middlesbrough to win 1-0 at 7-1, and a draw in the Forest Hull of 1-1 with odds of 51-1.
What?
A double at 51-1.
They really, really don't think that your lot are going to win it
I was
all.
going to say, I'm
Middlesbrough
surprised that there's
1-0
longer
is
odds.
7-1.
I was going to
I'm
say
surprised
that
there's longer odds on Middlesbrough to win than there are
A draw.
a draw.
So then, Paul, you're last to the party as always.
So, that just leaves me. Middlesbrough to win 1-0, we already know, is 7-1.
With a 2-2.
Oh, here we go.
God.
Big money. Get ready
You're
to
gonna be
get
going
ready to
above
win a
me.
couple of 100-1.
Yeah.
Nottingham Forest Hull. What's the odds on the 2-2? Oh, 12-1. Oh, this is going to be spicy. So
There's a lot in it for all as well, because they're
I'm
all...
trying to work out which
One
one
of them
does it. So if it does it at one, so because I put the middle one in first, a pound on at 7-1, 7 going on at 12s is
Press the button and find out. That's what it's for.
136, something like that. Oh, 103-1.
103.
I'm
So they're
surprised that
realistic.
yours
That's
are...
realistic money right
He's
there.
only ever slightly longer than mine.
That's what she said.
Worry.
Sorry?
Wait, no, that's what he said. Right.
So for the weekend,
Not
Just
the
to-
first
just
time
to
Paul's
recap.
heard,
we have the following bets in play. Middlesbrough 1-0, draw 2-2, 103-1. Draw 1-1, Middlesbrough to win 1-0, 51-1. Middlesbrough to win 2-0 and Forest to win 2-1, 98-1. And both games to finish 1-1, 38-1.
And for you,
I'm
at home,
just surprised that we're now betting that out of all of us, the double draw bet is the lowest odds.
That is weird. Draws normally
Normally
come
get
back with
better
higher odds.
as
is
always,
worrying.
you at home, play at home. So take your £1
Play at
score,
home.
pick one of those sets of scores, or mix and match. Tag your betting slip, especially if it's a winner. Do what Stu did. I mean, obviously not.
Yeah, but actually win.
Yeah, but actually win. Actually win. Don't do what Stu did, but do by playing at home. And speaking of playing at home, I don't need to give you a book because you've got your own.
Yeah.
It's that time of the week.
It's that time. Now then, I have a question for you, gentlemen. And that question is...
Excuse me, can I have a pen?
No.
Oh.
You have to write in blood.
Again.
You've got a pen, yeah?
You don't want me spilling blood.
The question is, how much do you know about the Premier League
Love this Premier League quizzes, don't we?
2017 to 18 season? Question mark.
I can tell you the answer to that
Last
right
seasons.
now. Not a lot.
And do you know more than Paul? Is the real question.
Unlikely.
There are 15
Check your ego, man. Check your ego.
questions, and just for Paul, because we know what he's like,
What is the date?
Pretty sure
The 6th. It's not week commencing.
that there's like some of them have got monster stats to go with the.
Oh, yeah. Aye.
Can I ask?
with the answers?
Can I ask? Is it multiple choice?
Some,
You can ask,
some,
and I will not answer. It is multiple choice.
That means I've got a chance.
Everybody, usual rules are number 1. This was provided by the stats mistress. She hasn't given any props out to who really provided it. So unfortunately, but if you know whoever you are, thank you for the quiz. But the stats mistress cannot be held responsible for any answers being wrong or anything like that. Obviously, we'll defer to Paul and then the internet for correct answers. And as always, play at home, beat the jock, send us your scores, do all of that stuff.
I'm hoping that the combination of me and Stu beats Paul.
What's our scores added together?
Now there's a thing.
I did think that today could be the day that we might have to start the handicapping, depending on the outcome.
There's no need for
But
handicapping.
you can't call him that.
But
Oh, no,
pretty
he definitely
sure.
is.
I'm pretty sure there was only 3 points between these boys last time. Just
Was
I
that
said,
the wrestling or the... have we actually done a wrestling?
No, it was that.
Yes, we did, and yes, you won.
Last
Surprise,
time was
I
surprise.
honestly can't remember what it was about, though.
It was a Royal Rumble one.
Ah, yes,
it was slightly out
The
there. I've
last
still
football-
got that, but I have got a quiz. You'll be pleased to hear.
The last football one he did was that weird ass one where
And you'll be pleased to hear.
You
that
had to
yet again, I could only do research
name
for
it
one
before
podcast,
he gave you all the
and it was the
clues.
wrestling one. I've watched loads of videos. I've got some real. And you know me. I'm not talking about the wrestling. I'm talking about what was he wearing on that show.
Excellent.
Proper like what the actual fuck's going on. Anyway,
Is it like gay pants or more gay pants?
it's interesting that you said
Enough about Forrest's home kit.
Oh, where am I? Oh, there it is. So how much do you know about the Premier League in the 2017-18 season? Let's find out with question 1.
Absolutely find out.
In which month did Crystal Palace score their first goal of the season?
Oh dear.
Was it August, September, October, or November? Question number 2. The way it's written, because I get like the answer with the fact, so I need to make sure I'm not going to read the fact as the next question. Question 2. Who were the only team to win the majority of their points away from home?
Oh God.
Was it Burnley, Manchester City, Tottenham Hotspur, or West Bromwich Albion? Now then, obviously I do, with my extensive football knowledge, I do a bit of checking on my quiz, a bit of fact checking. So when I read this question, I was like, that's really confusing. So obviously, but question 3 is, which goalkeeper made 1 save in the league last season and 111 saves this season?
So that's based on not the current season. That must be based on...
Made 1 save in 16-17 and
That's
100
what
saves in 17-18.
111 saves.
Right, okay.
So, Asmir
Begovic,
is the first option. Loris Karius, Wayne Hennessy,
yeah,
Willie
Caballero. Did Karius make a save in the Champions League?
Oh, wait.
So give us a stat again.
Which goalkeeper made 1 save in the league last season and 111 this season? So that's a weird thing. Question number 4. Tottenham finished the season as the highest placed team from London. Who was their manager when they last achieved that feat?
Fuck me.
Interesting.
Jesus
That's an
Christ.
interesting one, is that?
Was it Jerry Francis, Martin Jol, Juan de
Ramos.
I'm sure he does that. Or was it Harry Redknapp?
What was the first one?
Jerry Francis. I can say that. Whoa, why are there a million options for this next one?
Are they actually?
It's narrowing my
The way that these questions are going, though, at least it's not. I don't think it's stuff that you're going to immediately go, I know that one.
No, he'll do what he always does. Oh, I'm not sure about this one.
I'm not sure.
But I've got the right answer.
Here's the right answer for you. Question 5. 9 clubs changed their managers during the season. Which of them brought in a permanent replacement with no previous experience of managing in England?
Okay.
Now, there are multiple options here. So, Crystal Palace, Leicester City.
Don't read them off so quick. So, sort of give a little bit of a pause.
I don't understand. Am I supposed to be naming the managers?
Oh, hang on.
No. Picking the team that brought in a manager that hasn't managed in
Had
England
no
before.
previous managerial experience.
Okay.
Carry on.
Go on.
Everton.
No.
Not that slow.
Right, so start again and just pace it.
Crystal Palace, Leicester City, Everton,
Such a cock.
West Ham United.
United!
So just to confirm, is he naming now
all
of
right,
the
so
ones that
all of
changed
the-
their manager?
All of the following teams changed manager at some point
and I need
last
to write down
season.
the 4 that got
No, you need to pick the one
Oh.
that replaced the manager with a manager who had never had any
Only
previous
one?
managerial
Right,
experience.
I got that.
It doesn't help. That makes it worse. I'm not even halfway through.
Right,
Just start at West Ham.
West Bromwich Albion, Swansea City,
City.
Stoke
City.
City, Watford, Southampton.
Southampton. Balls. Now just read the question again. No, seriously.
This is a difficult question.
No, seriously, because that makes a massive amount of difference.
Question number 6. How many ways can Andy tell you to fuck off?
Because it doesn't make a bit of
And the
It
longer
makes-
you,
it makes
and the
a
longer
difference
you
in the
hear on
answer.
that question, the more chance I'm going to go, I need the options
Yeah,
again.
just no. Because it's between 2 for me now.
Yeah.
9 clubs changed their
You'd have to be like this.
managers
Stop this
You're
immediately.
such a child at times.
during the season. Which of them brought in a permanent replacement with no previous experience of managing England?
Right.
So, we're looking for one of these teams who brought in
It's all right, I've got
a
it.
permanent replacement manager
Yep,
who
got it.
had never previously
got it.
managed
Okay,
in
right.
England.
Got it.
I just want the options now.
Fucking Jesus Christ, what is that?
You can rattle through them ones.
Yeah.
Crystal Palace, Leicester City, Everton, West Ham United, West Bromwich Albion, Swansea City, Stoke City, Watford, Southampton.
It's between 2 for me as well.
Yeah, I changed my answer based on the wording of the question.
I've written both down and I'll scrub one out. Just
It's between 1 for me. Question number 6. Who did Jose Mourinho proclaim the manager of the season in early April? Fuck Jesus mother.
Oh, God.
don't think it was them.
Pep.
Guardiola.
That's the one. Why can't they all have a name like Darren Moore?
Yeah.
Matt Moore's brother.
Oh.
Carlos Carvalhal.
Calvical.
Roy Hodgson. Roy Hodgson, there's a good name. Which one of them?
So
did
any of
that
those
thing?
4?
Yeah. Oh. Oh, question 7, you fucking beauty.
Is the answer Bob Smith?
I've changed my mind twice there. I don't like it.
I do. Question 7. Which of these managers had a 0% win percentage this season? Was it
He's writing it down before you've been given the options.
Alan Pardew, Frank de Boer, Craig Shakespeare, Mauricio Pellegrino, or Tony Pulis? Oh, I slowed myself down. And I hope that you have to give that answer.
Did you write down something different?
Yep, wrote down an answer that definitely wasn't even on there.
Question number 8. Which player scored against all of the top 6 clubs? Manchester City, United, Tottenham, Liverpool, Chelsea, and Arsenal.
What? I didn't hear the first word. Was it who scored?
Which player scored against all of the top 6?
Okay.
Fucking hell. Jesus.
I've gone for one, just in case, before.
This guy. Oh, now he's going to just write something down. Just write anything down because he knows he can change it 8 times.
Yeah, boy.
I might change mine.
Riyad Mahrez.
Or Riyad Mahrez.
Marco Arnautovic.
Arnautovic.
Glenn Murray or Jamie Vardy.
Oh.
Did he have Vardy down?
Ooh. Well.
Number 9.
Same here.
What do
But it's not him, no.
Yeah, we'll be with it.
Jack Cork, Harry Maguire, Lewis Dunk, Mathis Jorgensen,
Matthias Jorgensen.
and Alfie Mawson
Mawson.
have in common that your options are: their only goals this season were own goals. They made their international debut this season and were relegated. They were all sent off 4 times. They are the only outfielders who played every minute of every game for their club.
Give us the names again.
Jack Cork, Harry Maguire, Lewis Dunk, Matthias Jorgensen, and Alfie Mawson. And I'll give you the options again, because you know down these names. Their only goals in the season were own goals. They made their international debut this season and were relegated. They were all sent off 4 times. They are the only outfielders who played every minute of every game for their club.
Forgot to ask how many questions at the start.
15.
So you did say that.
Yeah.
Question 10. Who said this about the vacant managerial role at Everton?
Fuck that.
That was not what it is.
Oh, really?
It would have been a fabulous job, but it just didn't feel right. It just never materialised as I thought it would.
Big Sam.
Arsene Wenger, Marco Silva, Sean Dyche. Yeah, whatever. Sam Allardyce.
Oh, no.
I was being sarcastic.
Did you get the dodgy pen?
Mm.
I tried to take the dodgy pen away.
What was the first option?
Oh, fuck off.
Wenger.
11. 4 managers took charge of West Brom this season. Which of them earned the most points? Your first option, Paul, is Tony Pulis. 12 games in charge. Alan Pardew, 18 games in charge. Gary Megson, 2 games in charge.
Shithouse!
Or Matt's brother, Darren, 6 games
I really
in
want to see a
charge.
picture of Darren Moore now. To realise just how wrong he is. It's a huge black man. It's amazing. To be fair, he's a fantastic manager.
Yeah, but for the people who watch the podcast, Matt's only ever rung in, so how do they
Oh
know?
my God,
How do they know?
Matt could also be a gigantic black man.
And a quarterback for the Miami Dolphins.
But they are both from the same area. They're both from the Midlands.
Is the Miami Dolphins quarterback a big black guy too?
No.
No.
There's a big white guy. Number 12.
Number 12.
What did Lewis Dunk do against Manchester City, Manchester United, Liverpool and Swansea? He was sent off after the first half. He scored an own goal. He was booked for diving. He conceded 2 penalties.
I'm trying to work out if that links to the earlier question.
Lucky for some, number 13. Which team were not beaten on their own ground? In brackets, Spurs don't count.
Played at a different ground.
I think that's just a rule, isn't it? Spurs don't count. Arsenal, Manchester City, Liverpool, or United. That's Manchester United for you kids. Jesus Christ. Question 14. Who declared himself the proudest man in Proudsville? Was it David Wagner, Rafa Benitez, Sean Dyche, Marco Silva?
Well, that makes sense there, I think.
And your 15th
And final
question. Manchester City defeated every side they faced in the league this season. So did which other club? Was it Liverpool, Tottenham, Man United, or Burnley? So, I hate to ask, does anybody need any question or options repeating? James?
No.
Maybe the options for number 12.
Everything. Question 12 was, what did Lewis Dunk do against Manchester City, Manchester United, Liverpool and Swansea? Was he sent off in the first half? He scored an own goal. He was booked for diving. He conceded 2 penalties. Anybody else for any more? Now then, this is going to take a little while because I do feel that we should talk about the
Elephant in the room.
Yeah.
Which is
because there's some facts and there's some big facts. So, question number 1. In which month did Crystal Palace score their first goal of the season?
September.
October.
I went October.
Well, we're off to a good start, aren't we, Paul?
Fuck's sake.
You boys put a little point down. So,
Did they go like 8 games without scoring?
the answer is October, and the fact, Palace lost their first 7 games without as much as scoring a single goal. Then, on the 14th of October, they beat reigning champions Chelsea. There you go. Number 2. Who were the only team to win the majority of their points away from home?
Spurs?
I didn't
Is this because they didn't play at White Hart Lane?
No, it's because they got beat loads at Wembley.
I've gone Burnley.
Well, I had Spurs and West Brom written down and I crossed out Spurs.
So you're going
So
West
Burnley.
Brom.
West
I
Brom.
crossed out West Brom, went Burnley.
So Burnley won pretty much all of their points at home. I think they
Did
had
they?
1 away win all season.
Fair enough.
So you put a point down.
Burnley?
Burnley only won 7 away points last season. This season they won 7 away matches.
Or maybe I'm thinking of the season before then.
Probably not the way to do it.
Fuck.
Which goalkeeper made 1 save in the league last
God.
season and 111 this season?
I think it's Begovic because I think he got bought by Bournemouth. Which means it's not, and it's Loris Karius.
I've gone Karius because he got into the first team instead of Mignolet.
I went Willie because I couldn't decide, so I went with the stupid childish answer.
Damn it. Paul put a point down.
Is it Azami Begovic?
So Begovic, last season he sat on the bench for Chelsea. This season he played every minute of every game
For Bournemouth.
for Bournemouth.
If that question came up for this season, then the answer could be Caballero because he's played a bit more this year. Hasn't
Not as much as he wanted to.
he? Yeah, that's true.
Well, he's only been playing because...
Kept that one quiet.
Ta-da!
Came for the football, stayed for the comedy.
It's like going all week, try the video. Question 4. Tottenham finished the season as the highest placed team from London. Who was their manager when they last achieved
I'm
that?
not gonna lie, I was hoping for George Graham coming out.
Yeah.
I went Francis.
Yeah, I think it was a long time ago, so I've gone for Jerry Francis as well.
I went Harry Redknapp.
These boys are in the points game there. I had high hopes there, James. Francis. Spurs haven't been the top side from London since 94-95 season, when they finished 7th in the table and above QPR, Wimbledon, Chelsea, Arsenal and West Ham.
Yeah. So that season, Arsenal finished 12th. Ridiculous.
Was that Rioch?
Yeah, it would have been, I think. Oh, no, it might have been when Graham left and Stuart Houston had to take over as the caretaker for the rest of the season. Because that's the season that the following year they did the Premier League sticker book, not in alphabetical order, but in the order the teams finished the season before. So that's when Forest were in there as like third. Because they finished third.
I don't know whether to be impressed or slightly frightened by the fact that he knows that.
Insane.
You just have to go.
You have to go, yeah.
You've got a lot of crossing out for this one.
So let's find out which one of those crossed out answers is the right one. 9 clubs changed their manager during the season. Which of them brought in a permanent replacement with no previous experience of managing?
I absolutely lost my mind on this
So,
question.
Originally I put Leicester, and then I was like, no, because that was Craig Shakespeare the season before. I then put West Brom, then realised that you'd put permanent manager, so finally changed it to Watford.
I also put West Brom, thought about the Darren Moore thing, scrubbed it out, put Watford.
I just put Swansea.
So apparently you should have changed your answer a lot more, because Watford,
Javi
Grazie had managed in Spain, Greece and Russia, not in England. Who did Jose Mourinho proclaim the manager of the season in early April?
Now, all theory would dictate that he'd put Pep, but seems though he fucking hates Pep. That's why as well, Darren Moore.
Cross Pep out and put Darren Moore.
I put Darren Moore.
Oh, so you're all wrong then.
Was it Pep?
No.
Eh?
Carlos.
Carvajal?
This guy is going to keep Swansea in the Premier League.
Yeah.
Well, that aged
worked.
well.
He is the manager of the season because they were dead and he's going to save them. He changed the players.
Except he didn't.
Definitely didn't.
I think that kind of the point, isn't it? That's like,
Just ridiculous.
which of the managers had a 0% win percentage this
I wanna
season?
know who you went for.
Well, I wrote Ronald Koeman, thinking Frank de Boer, but got his name completely wrong, switched it out, and then wrote Frank de Boer.
Also got Frank de Boer. It's got to be.
Yeah, I put him too.
Because he's the guy who's in charge for Palace's first 4 games, I think.
4 games, 4 defeats.
No goals scored.
De Boer.
Fastest manager ever sacked, I think. Or, well, probably not fastest, but one of.
Because he come in and just took over a team that were
Shithouses!
and decided these are going to play like Ajax in the heyday overnight.
I've got to say, you can't see the forest for the trees. Sponsored by the phrase "shithouses."
Shithouses. I was going to say, if you were to go through the year and do a word count of every time a
Shithouses beats
Shithouses
Tony Pulis hands down.
Shithouses.
Number 8. Which players scored against all of the top 6 clubs? Manchester City, Manchester United, Tottenham, Liverpool, Chelsea, and Arsenal.
So technically, we all went for the same answer, but me and Stu wrote it before the answers came out. So we all gone for Jamie Vardy, and it's probably not even the right answer.
I've gone for Jamie Vardy as well.
Okay. You can have a point.
That's okay then.
I'm just going to put a little tea. I didn't know when he said
Vardy, the top scorer outside of the top 6 clubs with 20 goals scored against them all.
It's outrageous that he's still getting that many goals.
Even without Danny Drinkwater.
I know, Danny Drinkwater supplying the bullets.
Well, it's him as well as the record for consecutive now as well.
Yeah, that was the season they won the league.
Yeah.
Number 9. What do Jack Cork, Harry Maguire, Lewis Dunk, Matthias
I put the letter down, but I think it's the
Jorgensen
same
and Alfie Marson have in common?
So I've put that. Well, they played every game.
Every minute of every
I've
game.
put D, which I hope
I
was
think
played
they've
every
played
game.
every minute of every game.
So there's no actual. Oh no, I'm lying. There is. It is. They played every minute of every game. 5 goalkeepers also played every minute.
And that was the fourth option.
Yeah, yeah. Because I thought at one point it might have been made the debut, but
Harry
was
Maguire
another-
must have
there was
made
another
his
stat
debut
that
before
came
that.
out with that.
It was that they got relegated and Leicester
Yeah,
definitely
Leicester didn't go
relegated.
down. Huddersfield didn't go down. Brighton didn't go down.
Who said this about the vacant manager role at Everton? It would have been a fabulous
Oh,
job,
yeah, I went there as well, yeah.
but it just didn't feel right. It just never materialised as I thought it would.
Marco Silva?
Well, that would be the ironic answer. And me being Saki said Big Sam, and then it actually came out as an answer, so I'll put that down.
I also went Marco Silva
So
there.
before any of the answers, it was like, it's Big Sam, and I'm like, yes, it is. It's Big Sam.
That doesn't make any sense though, because he actually did take over.
Funnily enough, Allardyce, he took the job in the end, saying, "I'm delighted that I've come back into the club of this magnitude, size, and history."
So that is Big Sam as the answer.
Yeah, Big Sam.
How old?
I was thinking a totally different thought
yeah.
process.
I'm salivating at the possible scores of this. 'Cause I'm like, is he getting toppled this week? Come on, come
I
on,
think Stu's on.
yeah.
I don't know.
This is
I
it.
don't-
I
I don't know
was
about
like,
the last
when
ones now.
Stu rocks up, it's all to play, right? Just that division, that 33.33. Come on, somebody's got that. Gonna get the point 4 though. 4 managers took charge of West Brom this season. Which of them earned the most points? Tony Pulis, 12. Alan Pardew, 18 games. Gary Megson, 2. Matt Moore's brother, 6.
Darren Moore?
I went down more because
I've gone Darren
he's the only one that survived. Wasn't
Well, Moore won 50% of his games in charge. Pardew only won 5% of his. Moore.
he? Yes.
Fucking Alan Pardew. He is a really shit.
12. What did Lewis Dunk do against Manchester City, Manchester United, Liverpool, and Swansea?
I've gone B, which I hope is OG.
I've gone own goal.
I went diving.
I changed it from
He
C.
is an original gangster.
I changed it from C. I can't remember what that option was.
That was diving,
Yeah.
but he is OG. He scored an own goal. Dunk equalled Martin Skirtle's record from the 2013-14
Liverpool legend.
for scoring 4 own goals in a season.
Oh, man. Right, I'm sure there was a stat. I can't remember which season it was, but Man United's second top goal scorer was own goals.
That was when we were doing that big quiz.
When?
This was like 2 or 3 seasons ago. It was ridiculous. It was like
When we
Rooney
had that-
was top or Zlatan was top, and then the second top scorer was own goals that had been scored.
Yeah, when we did that big quiz,
ridiculous.
one of the
This is
stats in
that.
there is own goals.
Wow.
Absolutely ridiculous.
Which team were not beaten on their own ground? Spurs don't count.
Liverpool?
I've gone Liverpool.
I went City.
Nah, City got beat on by Man United.
So now that makes 15 a winner for you.
I think so.
Yeah.
Liverpool. Sorry, Stu.
See, I was trying
Liverpool.
to figure out who beat City.
Their 5
And,
away
Liverpool.
defeats at the Etihad, Wembley, the Liberty, Old Trafford and Stamford Bridge let them down.
What? Oh, Liverpool. Right, okay.
Who declared himself the proudest man in Proudsville?
It may... I thought it could only really be David Wagner.
Because he tried to say something in English and got it a bit wrong.
Yeah.
I went for Deitch.
I had Deitch and Wagner written down, and I crossed Deitch out because I thought it sounds like a bit of a knob thing to say, so it could be Sean Dyche,
Yeah, that's what I was going with.
but it probably got lost in translation a bit more with Wagner.
It's Sean Dyche, isn't it?
Is it really?
Oh,
Dyche had an eventful season. A pub in Burnley was renamed the Royal Dyche in his honour. In less appetising news, he also had to deny that he eats worms, saying it was a bit of banter I used to have. You get a nice big juicy worm hanging out of your mouth. It wobbles, wriggles around, looks as if you're chewing it, and then spit it out.
Right.
Following press conference, he's the boogeyman and he's coming to get you.
And you're
Has he just figured that, like, although he's not been around a bit, I just need to say some absolute shite?
He's a fucking belly.
Yeah, but what Holloway said generally was entertaining. That's just weird.
Yeah, but it was entertaining for a while, and then he just went because he.
I think
because
he became aware.
He heard that people thought he was funny, so he tried to be funny, and he basically just sounded like a twat.
Which is always going to happen.
Yeah.
And your last one. Manchester City defeated every side they faced in the league this season.
That could be right.
So did which other club?
I've gone for United.
I went Liverpool.
I went Tottenham.
Nah, Tottenham didn't beat City. City only got beat twice.
Unfortunately for you boys, he does take the last point there. It's United.
Yeah, so
United.
No, I knew that was when the other one.
yeah, so City got beat by Liverpool and United, but I don't think Liverpool beat Man United.
However, managed to lose against all three promoted teams.
How ridiculous is that?
So
I was just trying to figure who beat City and just go for that.
there are 15 points up for grabs, and I am super excited to find out the score.
Do you know what? It's not a winning score.
Speaking
I'm
of the
happy with my
Etihad.
score.
Oi. Just a reminder about the extras with your tickets.
Sounds ominous.
I won't spoil these. I won't spoil the excitement for you.
A handy from Lars Ulrich, sweet.
Is that where Metallica are playing? At the Etihad? The Empty-ad?
Says it right there.
Coming from the man that home team player.
Maybe if you give a shout out, like who's got one, who's got two, who's got three, and see where we get to.
But it would go the other way. It'd be who got 15.
Yeah, but I think it builds a bit better.
So,
All right, who got one?
so keep your hands up.
Oh, jeez.
Do we have to? Really?
Do we really?
Well, start from like 5 then.
Did anybody get less than 10?
Yes.
Yes.
No.
Right, that's it now. This is why. Why did you not just go with what I was saying?
Because it would have taken all night.
No,
the quiz is like 98%.
What'd you get, Stu?
I got 8.
I got 9.
Oh, well, they've beaten me combined then.
Yeah. He got 10. He won it on the last bloody question.
Seriously.
Did he?
As it turns out, he got 9 and he got the last question.
Oh.
With 4 questions to go, I had 8 and I got all 4 right.
Oh,
Yeah, I thought you were in for this. I got
So-
3 out of the last 4.
That puts the overall standings. You're going to have to include Stu in this now. We can
No,
always-
you really don't.
if you want, we can just record without you, and then I can just ring you up on the quiz start, so we'll dial you in for the quiz.
Oh, I like this.
What, just so you've got an extra person to smash into the ground every week?
That's not a smashing, that.
No, it's not actually.
So the overall standings is Paul with 7, James with 3, and I'll put Stu at the bottom as a guest.
I don't like the way that. I mean, that we need a handicap system. If somebody's got a good handicap system that we can start implementing.
Paul has to write the answer down in his left hand.
No.
Makes no difference.
No, I don't think
Paul
there
can
needs to be
only
a
answer
handicap
every other
system.
question.
Well, I said we could just do it where I only get half a point for each answer.
But that don't work because
No.
then if you'd got half there, you'd have had 5, so you'd have lost hands down. It should be you're not in a 15-pointer. You're not allowed any more than
What?
It comes through, trust me.
Oh. No, no.
I think half a point is too drastic a drop.
There doesn't need to be any.
There needs to be somebody
Yeah.
needs to tell us a good handicap system for Paul, other than
Duct
hobbling.
tape.
Ooh, duct tape.
I don't get the options.
So what are you going to do, stick your fingers in your ears whilst James gets them?
Yeah? I mean, I don't know. We'll find a way to do it.
We just need to just if you win, you
We
win.
need to go back to the forest quiz.
Yeah,
It's been forest quiz every week.
we don't handicap Huddersfield this year, do we? For being shithouses. Said it again.
Ding ding.
Do I need to start a new call?
I think you probably need to, yeah.
So that's
So there we are.
that's probably
Brings us
that.
to the end of another fabulous week in the world of football. Thank you, Stu, for joining us once again.
Thank you.
Thanks, you.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you, James, for always being by my side.
Oh, I'll get in. Saturday night, out in the pub, I'd drink with a currently playing professional footballer.
Really? Which pub were you at?
Oh, who was it?
I was going to say, this is... No.
He played earlier in the day.
So you were in Doncaster.
I was in Tickhill, which is a little village in the Doncaster area where everyone lives. Yeah.
Right, so I'm going to go, it's a Donny Rovers player.
Yeah.
Is it James Coppinger?
No.
Is it John Marquis?
No. We were talking about it though, because he scored the goal and apparently got some...
I am done.
It's actually, I believe I don't know if he's the captain or the vice captain.
Is it Matty, whatever his name is, that used to play for York?
No. It's Andy Butler.
Andy Butler? I didn't know that.
Sorry, I'll just get that. What's that name?
Anyway, I just thought...
Something slipped out your pocket.
I've got to admit, I totally ripped that joke off.
What's that? Is it from a podcast?
Yeah, Ralph Garman.
I just thought as a closing thing, you'd be interested.
We
were interested, so I could use that joke.
Yeah, he was just wrapping up and then off down the local club house. Is
he injured at the minute?
No, he played earlier that day.
Fucking
He was showing us this massive bruise on his hip.
That is what you would call the traditionalist footballer.
What is it? Andy
Hang on a
Butler?
minute. Traditionalist football, so when you say kebab house, you mean... Which, as we all know, is your car.
Oh my god! One of the funniest things that Sky Sports ever did is that they do a thing where when they're introducing the players all sort of walk forward and either do that or like put their arms behind their shoe.
Oh yeah, you got Pogba doing it,
and then they obviously asked the managers to do it as well. So Allardyce and I think it was it was Allardyce, and he basically did this thing where he basically sort of walks up and the camera must be up there or something, so he does this. And someone commented immediately was like, why does the Sky Sports walk that all the managers and players do on the game thing? Why does Sam Allardyce look like he's walked into a kebab shop and he's looking at the menu?
Oh, I'll have a number 86.
And on that bomb,
there is someone who does like a little point, isn't there? I can't remember which one it is.
Does he shoot from the hip?
Some of them do. Yeah.
That
looks like
Andy
a
Butler,
fairly
for anyone
young
who wants to
picture.
know. I've just kicked that. That's definitely going to.
It looks like a fairly young picture, does that one?
Yeah, that was when he was playing for Walsall. That was from 2011. Oh wow! I was going to say, I'm sure that he's quite old, isn't he? He's like he's nearly in his mid-30s.
Yeah.
I was going to say, is that the guy who used to play for Walsall? But has it turned out?
Quite old in his mid-30s.
In his mid-30s.
So do you want to smash him first?
Hang on a second, he's older than you, knobhead.
Well,
4th of November 1983. He's got a good year on you.
A year and a month. Well, no, a year and a fortnight. If we're going to split hairs.
It's quite old.
Younger than you two.
Comment below if you're over that age and want to smack Paul.
Did you go to him and go, oh, all right, mate, I'm about a year older than you?
Yeah.
Is that how you started
2 weeks?
Is that how you started that conversation?
Paul was there in the pub, wasn't he?
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Join us next time for another fantastic instalment of You Can't See the Forest for the Tees.
Thank you, bye.
Excellent. Oh, God.
So there you go. What do you think to that? Another episode in the bag. Do we think that Paul can actually ever be beaten in a football quiz? Find out in the future. So yeah, that's that. YouTube watchers, turn yourselves into YouTube subscribers. Click for notifications. Drop us a little comment. Tell us how you're getting on and what you scored in the quiz. Everybody should jump over to thecookiecast.com. Check out our social media feeds. Check out our function to send emails to us and then send us an email. All that sort of good stuff. So yeah, that's our week in the bag. Make sure you get your bets on and see if you can beat us in the betting syndicate. And yeah, we will see you next week. So until then, I'll say bye-bye.